We're on?
We're on.
Okay. I'll call a meeting to order of the Natrona County Commission, April 7th. We're on Zoom. We've got the commissioners on Zoom and Eric Nelson, our legal counsel. He's here, or he's on Zoom as well. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bertolio,
Here.
Commissioner Chadwick,
Here.
Commissioner Kaufman,
Here.
Commissioner Milne,
Here.
Chairman Hendry.
Here. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right. Anybody that's joining us and can see us on YouTube, you can visit the www.natrona.net/public comment and for any interactive form with your full name and address, phone number, and a brief description of the subject matter. Upon submission, the information you provide will be delivered to our office, and when the public comment period opens, we'll contact you by phone. We've got one person that called in to do that. Otherwise, and that deadline was 5 o'clock on Monday the 6th. Okay. Is there approval for the consent agenda? Did we have any items?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Jim,
Mr.
second.
Chairman, are we?
He's going to ask for discussion.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, we need to pull Resolution 11-20 for further discussion.
Okay, any other discussion?
I'd second the amendment.
Yeah, we just pulled it and we'll talk about it. Any other discussion on the consent agenda? All those in favor of the consent agenda, with the exception of Resolution 11-24, say aye.
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 Those of any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Now, Forrest, let's bring 11-24 up. Does somebody want to introduce that? Move to pass that, or probably move to pass it.
Mr. Chairman, in order to facilitate discussion on this issue, I do move to pass Resolution 11-20.
11-20.
I second.
And Brooke seconds that. Okay, further discussion. Eric, we had lots of questions about that. Could you kind of explain the origins and everything about that resolution?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this request was made by Stacy Hill at Emergency Management at the request of the state, I think, Homeland Security Office. They recommended and urged us to have a delegation of authority to the EOC, the Joint Operations Command, so that there was a focal point, one point of response with regard to the COVID process. I did ask for some additional clarification from the state, and really there wasn't a whole lot forthcoming. The current resolution that we drafted was really based upon a similar resolution that was adopted in Teton County. It's unclear to me, frankly, if there's any ramifications, either positive or negative, for potential reimbursement on the back end. But I think that the intent is to have one focal point in the county for making decisions with regard to the COVID response. What it does not do is take away any of the authority or delegate any of the ability of the county health officer to make determinations, nor does it obligate the county to anything monetarily. Certainly, that's a decision that remains with the Board of County Commissioners. I did forward the same copy on to the city of Casper. And my understanding is they'll be considering it for adoption this evening at the city council meeting. I sent it to the city attorney. I did not hear any response, either positive or negative, from him. As you can tell, the resolution really creates a three-person kind of governance committee. It's comprised of Stacy Hill, Emergency Management, Anna Kinder, the director of the health department, and Mark Harshman from the city of Casper fire department. So I think in a nutshell, that's the intent. That was the origin, and I'm certainly happy to attempt to answer any questions you all might have.
Okay, one
Mr.
question.
Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead.
Eric, so does this give this group, this three-member panel, the authority to do, without our consent, a shelter in place?
No, it does not. I don't. So those type of orders, closure orders, quarantine orders, isolation orders, are solely within the purview of the state health officer. The county health officer can can issue those type of orders, but only with the concurrence of the state health officer. So this is completely separate. The way I view it is, if the state health officer were to order individuals into quarantine, for instance, and those individuals are homeless, and so we have to figure out, okay, how do we effectuate the lawful order of the state health officer? And they would be tasked with the authority to figure out how to fulfill that. But it does not confer any additional legal authority, and they certainly would not have the authority to issue that type of order.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr.
Eric,
Commissioner Miller.
in the resolution, that first bullet point on page 2, I believe it is, coordinate all response with Wyoming Department of Health and with Natrona County Health Officer. So to me, that's all response. That's quarantine in place. That's, we had a discussion about an ordinance that was going on or being looked at, but that's all response. That's what it's saying to me.
So, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Milne, so what I see that as all response, and that is kind of the ministerial acts that need to be undertaken to put into place or to effectuate the intent of the health officer's orders. So again, they couldn't issue legally binding orders. It's really, I think the intent is the nuts and bolts, right? So for instance, we have the statewide orders that place restrictions on businesses, and so how we would go about posting and educating and enforcing, I think those are the things that are delegated in this resolution. But certainly it's not expanding and it's not transferring any legal rights to this group.
So, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Eric, so how does it differ from how we're doing things now? I think that's what we're doing already, isn't it?
So, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Chadwick, so I don't know that it'll drastically change the way things are being done. I'll just tell you anecdotally, there was some decisions, made at the EOC level with regard to temporary shelters and so forth. And then there was some dispute as to whether some officials at the city had issued a contrary order with regard to using, school district assets, those types of things. And so I think what this attempts to do is just clearly delineate kind of the chain of command when we come to implementation of the orders. So to your original point, I think that for the most part we're already operating like this, and I think this just kind of formalizes it a bit.
Well, and the shelter in place is the one thing I'm getting more than one call about. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Chadwick, so I think a lot of that, of course, stems from our county health officer had made some comments here a few days ago, about the need and his desire to have a shelter-in-place order. But, I think that the statutes in place are very clear that at the county level, he can only act through a delegation of power from the state health officer. And at this point, there's been no indication from the state health officer that is imminent. I think that's exactly what the governor had said. And so I think that, absent their concurrence, I don't think that realistically can happen.
Okay, question.
Yes, Commissioner question on the motion.
Yes.
I'll ask for anybody that's got any other questions about it first, though. Okay,
Chairman's prerogative.
Yeah, seeing none, all those in favor of this resolution say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, resolution 11-20 is passed. Okay, we are down to public comments. Do we need to call on this phone out here? Oh, right there. And that's the only one we have, right?
Yeah, but I'm watching my phone and I'm not seeing anybody.
Okay. And you've got the office phone up here. You've got your
Just
phone.
watching my
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Fleshbig?
Yes, this is Greg Flesvig, yes.
Yeah, this is Rob Hendry, Natrona County Commission, and we asked that if anybody had any question for us to call, we would call you. And so all the commissioners can hear you, and you're on for public comment, sir.
Well, all right. Thank you, Mr. Hendry, and all the other commissioners. I appreciate your time to entertain my thoughts here. But I would like to propose to the commission to maybe reconsider your closed campground camping on your park system to just make it open only to Natrona County residents with proof of government-issued ID or other common way to prove residency. But that way, it would allow people to get out and do some camping, but would keep the out-of-state people, hopefully, from really overburdening our campground system.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, that should be it. I mean, yeah, that's pretty easy to enforce with the campground envelopes that are given at every campsite around the lake. So that's I'd like to have the commission reconsider their stance on that.
Okay, any questions? All right, I don't see any. Thank you, and we'll take that into consideration.
All right, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you now.
All right, we don't haven't had any emails or anything, and as this meeting, we're just started, this is the first one we've had on the Zoom, and we're working out the kinks, but anyone that wishes to speak during these public meetings, call in by the night before and request that you be called at this time in the meeting. I think we'll have these kind of meetings for the foreseeable future. Hopefully, it's not too long. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Kaufman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say thank you to all of our staff and the agencies that we're working really closely with, and like the city of Casper and just our partnering agencies. It's just been a heroic effort in this community to get us prepared and handle things as they come day by day. And I'm really proud to be a resident here, and I'm proud to serve in this way. And I'm grateful for the partnerships. Everybody across the board is stepping up and working really hard on this. So I just want to say thank you. So thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, Commissioner Milne.
Nothing for tonight, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Bertoglio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if anybody's watching this. I think everybody's going a little stir crazy, but it is for a good reason. If we can hang on just for a little while longer, hopefully we'll see a light at the end of the tunnel. If you're out there and can go out and help our restaurants with your takeout, by all means, please get out and do that. These restaurants are coming up with more and more ideas on social distancing and they're very creative. They deserve our business, so hopefully they'll go out there and help those businesses. I'd just like to give a real big shout out to 3 people, Eric Nelson, Anna Kidder, and Stacy Hill. They have been doing a phenomenal job. And also Matt Kowalski for going to all the EOC meetings. I think it's something that they never envisioned in their job criteria, and I think they really stepped up to the plate. So thank you.
Commissioner Chadwick.
And I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Well, the only thing I do is I would echo Commissioner Bertoglio's comments and all of our staff, all the elected official department heads, all of our employees. We did work it out where we're continuing to, they're still employed, they're still getting on the payroll. I wish it was different times, I wish it was better times, but this is what we've got. We're going to get through it. And thanks to everybody. If you're on YouTube, we'll get you on next time if you'd like to make a comment. And that's all I have. Meeting's adjourned. Thanks,